Today was a sad day for our democracy in the sense that for the first time the government in Parliament walked out during a budget debate and prevented the leader of the opposition from completing his presentation, denying the Parliament of a quorum, so the Speaker had no choice but to end the proceedings. And I, as leader of the opposition, was unable to finish my presentation. I didn't say anything offensive about anybody. I made a point of principle, which is that it doesn't sit well with the tradition in our parliamentary system, which requires the Speaker of the House to be independent of the government, for the wife of the Prime Minister, who's the head of government, to be the Speaker, which is effectively the head of Parliament. And these concerns are not just my concerns. Many Jamaicans feel that way. It's really a very unusual situation. And indeed, the Prime Minister, who in an emotional fit stood up and walked out and precipitated the situation which brought the proceedings to an end, really himself reinforced the validity of the point I was making, that there needs to be proper independence between the Speaker and the government, and by virtue of them being spouses, there is none. That was the point I was making. And her conduct, Mrs. Holness's conduct, has given rise to concerns by not tabling the reports of the Auditor General on a timely basis as they arrive. There are reports which have been, I'm told, reached Parliament from January, which have two Auditor General performance audit reports that have not been tabled. By determining that certain reports of the Integrity Commission must be sent to an oversight committee within Parliament, which is dominated by the government side and chaired by the government side, before those reports are tabled and made public. These are issues of grave concern to me, as somebody who believes in the parliamentary system and in democracy, and indeed for many Jamaicans. So this is why I thought it was essential to make this point in my presentation. And the reaction of the Prime Minister to it reinforced my concerns. Furthermore, Mrs. Holness has refused to make public or even share with us as members of Parliament and senators the legal opinion which she claims justifies the position she's taken. If that is the case, then why isn't she sharing it with us? It wasn't given to her in her personal capacity. It was sent because it concerns matters affecting Parliament in a very fundamental way. To deprive the Parliament of the benefit of that legal opinion is itself an egregious act, inconsistent with transparency in the way we conduct our parliamentary affairs. What I believe happened was that when the speech was shared in Parliament and the Prime Minister saw the points that were coming after the point I was making, he decided to take this action because he didn't want me to have the opportunity of making those points in Parliament in front of him. And what are those points that I'm referring to? The next point I was going to make was that the illicit six, which is a matter of grave concern in the country, is another instance where governance in Jamaica is being brought to a low ebb, where 6 MPs are under investigation for illicit enrichment. And the Prime Minister not only has declined to make public who they are, but has put a gag order on his cabinet forbidding them from talking to the media on any issues relating to the Integrity Commission. And the point I was going to make after that was that the Prime Minister, as head of government, cannot be in a situation where he is not in good standing with the Integrity Commission of the country. He has failed to have his statutory declaration certified. And that statutory declaration lists his assets, his liabilities, and his income. And for successive years, the Integrity Commission has not certified and published a summary of his declaration.